So yeah. All right, Shay, you ready to start this thing as we always do?
All right. So, hello, everybody. What's going on? Angie likes to.
Oh yeah,
Angie
I got
normally
the
remembers all
introduction.
these
I'm
people.
tripping. I'm tripping.
I don't be remembering all these names. Go ahead, boo. Jeez.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hello to podcast land, Facebookers, YouTubers, IGzers, and everybody around Twitter land. I mean everywhere in the whole wide world. I want to thank
What's
everybody for
going on,
joining tonight. We
people?
have a good show. This is episode 71. We
Mm-hmm.
have done 71 episodes, you guys.
71.
71. So all of our yeah, and that was the door. But all of our episodes are found
Mm-hmm.
on iHeartradio.
Yes, they are.
Uh who else? That just threw me off, sorry. Apple,
Mm-hmm. Google.
Spotify, Google Play,
Yes, yes.
and everywhere you enjoy your podcast listening pleasure, you
Mm-hmm.
can look at Shay. Shay husband just walked in, you guys. So just give her a sec. A friend or a brother-in-law.
Brother.
Brother. Okay. Helping the hubs. So we're about to start, but yeah, so episode 71, we want to thank podcasts, everybody in the podcast all over the world. We see you guys, we see you listening. We have so many states listening to us, so many cities in America. I mean, across the water as well, like Jamaica. Oh my God, I feel like I'm leaving
Mm-hmm.
too many places out right now. Oh, that's not good. I don't have my list in front of me, but y'all know who you guys are. I mean, Australia. I mean, we everywhere, right? So we want to just thank everybody who's been listening and joining us every Wednesday and listening to the podcast on Thursday mornings, afternoons, or evenings. So
Welcome.
no further ado, let's get into this podcast for tonight. We have a couple of topics, some great, amazing topics. And I want to thank again, now we're on the podcast, Voice Land. I want to thank my IG fam who came in and gave a few topics for tonight that I chose. So if you guys are ever out there following us, make sure if you see us post, give us a topic or two. Don't be afraid to give us a topic or two because we just may use it. So go ahead, Shay. Let's start this thing off. What are we starting
Okay,
off tonight with?
so all right. So recently I saw a article, or maybe it was an article. And basically they were saying that people should be kind of worried because once this quarantine, I know most of the time when the quarantine first started, they started giving out these extensions on people paying their mortgages and their rent, and a lot of people were not paying them at all because they just simply couldn't. They didn't have the funds to do so anymore. So these banks and stuff were giving them like 3 months. You had a 3-month reprieve, or you had 3 months until you had to come up with all 3 months of your rent, which was absolutely insane, is absolutely insane, makes absolutely no sense. But that's what they were basically saying. And they're saying now that literally that time is coming. And we are risking like 28 million families being homeless if they don't come up with this money. And I'm just the number alone is like, what? Like, are you serious? And the fact that was like the only thing that I've ever heard of, or the only article I've ever seen about it, is kind of strange. But this thing about it, right here in Florida, Angie found an article that basically said that in South Florida, or Miami and Fort Lauderdale area, you had to basically be around making $30 an hour to be able to rent a 2-bedroom home, not purchase, rent a 2-bedroom home. You had to be making $30 an hour. Now, mind you, that it's easier said, or I'm sorry, 65, or was it $65,000
$65,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Miami, it said
Miami.
to be able to afford a 2-bedroom. Now I'm a real estate agent, so I kind of see the market go crazy when it comes to rental rates, right? Our market when it comes to sales is kind of still kind of not as crazy. I mean, it is Miami, so the market is a little high. But when it comes to the rentals, the rentals are kind of crazy. I can't lie to you. Rentals are crazy in Miami and Broward. It's just how it is. So Channel 7 today just released and said you have to at least make $30-some an hour to be able to survive. And this just basically shows this is why people have roommates. These are why people are in shacking up. This is why people are married, living life. Because I think married couples are just living life. You know what I mean?
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. So all of my single people out there, I feel your pain. If you live in Miami, if you live in California, if you live in New York, you gotta have the money to be able to at least afford a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, like to make 60 plus a year. And if not, you could probably go stay somewhere else. You may not feel safe. But there are some places that you can afford that may be like $900 a month or something like that. But I don't know about those places.
It's crazy.
As a woman, as a single woman, like, yes, I can save money moving to a different area or, you know, purchasing in a different area. But
there you go.
I have to come home at night sometimes. I have to sleep. So you have to make the money to be able to afford the rent and the mortgages. You know what I mean? So, you know, but I get it. I get why people have roommates, girl. If my roommate is right here for everybody who don't know, this picture right here, that's M. That's M. She's taking up space. I should be charging her behind because she on my wall. But I see why people have roommates. No, I really do, because it costs a lot. Then you got other bills. You have like water, eating, car insurance. You have, and imagine if you have a child.
That I want to go. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. We're not there yet, so we don't even know that struggle. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure out how is it that people can actually support living decently, not living lavish, decently. How is that even possible?
Yeah,
that's what I'm not understanding. And then on top of it, you having kids, or a kid, but even numerous is like, that's absolutely crazy. And for me, like, where my job is, I'm in downtown Fort Lauderdale, and so I'm near Los Olas, which is a very well off area because it's close to the beach. And but they're throwing up so many high rises, that I'm like, the 3 over here ain't even full. They're not even halfway full. How is it that you're throwing up 6 more in the same area that are even more money? There's one on the corner of my job, a 1-bedroom. And I just like to look because I like to see where it's kind of going rent-wise and stuff, because it kind of tells you everything else, like how much homes are going to go up and stuff in that same area. The building on the corner, the 1-bedroom is like $2,100 or $2,200, starting at a studio, honey. Now, we're not talking about a bedroom. A studio, as in there's no wall. It's usually your kitchen, and you're looking into your kitchen from your bedroom because there is no wall. There's no divider. Starting at $2,200. The one on the across from it is starting at $1,890.
Yep.
Now they have a building right behind that where you can rent a room in an apartment that has 4 rooms. You can rent a room, but you will not know your roommates. So let's just say I just need to stay close to the beach, but I also need a room. It's like they're calling it like a social apartment, which basically means this is an area.
It means a house, a homie, or I forgot what they call them, a housing.
Yeah, it's like exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Now these rooms are like, the rooms are small.
Yeah.
And they're paying about $1,700 a month. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how they expect people to survive.
No, I get it. Like, it's crazy. And then when I looked into the article and I seen that, yes, it says that Miami people should be making $30+ an hour or 65, 70,000 a year. just to be able to rent. I looked down and looked at the highest place right now for rentals and having a monthly is Hawaii. Like Hawaii, you should be
Really?
making $40 an hour just to survive in Hawaii. Like
Wow.
that is crazy because I thought it would be like LA or I thought it would be New York, but Hawaii is the most expensive, and LA is kind of like equal to Colorado and Washington State and DC, and I'm just like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm just
So
wondering when the threshold, like when there's going to
it's
be
not going to be
like
a
when they're going to stop.
it's not going to stop. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop. There's more rental uh projects have already been approved before quarantine. They have to push it through. Like they have to get it through. So, and some of them investors of those rental properties actually have multiple investments. So you may not even know it, but the two that's next to each other could just be by the same owner with different
Yeah.
amenities. You know what I mean? You have the extra luxurious one, and you have the low luxurious one. So they kind of still sometimes owned by the same person. But anyway, moving on. We just wanted to let you guys know what's going on about rentals. Sure, even with people with mortgages, like you have to, in this world, in this day, if you are still single and you afford their life and you are a single parent, my hat is tipped off to you, because I already tipped my hat off to all the singles who can easily get a roommate, who can easily get in a relationship just to have cheap rent, but you don't, because God is your roommate, honey. Because so shout out to all of us who got God as our roommate, because we don't know how in the world we do this life. You know what I mean? But he supplies. And I thank God all the time, honey, because being an entrepreneur, checks don't come every 2 weeks. So you have to budget your whole lifestyle around everything. So shout out to God right now, because that's my roommate.
Amen.
She ain't paying money, but she hanging up on this wall. But anyway, moving forward. Moving on. Next topic. Next topic for tonight. Shay, go ahead and introduce this because you're married. You're married, so you get to talk about this quickly.
Okay, so real quick, separated means single. So again, we've addressed. If you've watched us before, we have definitely addressed this. But since the whole Jada and Will and August Alsina thing popped off, we got to talk about it again, obviously. So do you all in the beginning when we first had this conversation about whether you all to consider if you separate, would you consider yourself single from your spouse because you separated? Like you don't need a divorce. You don't need a divorce to define the fact that you're single. You're single because you're separated. Do you all still share that same thought process now after seeing the whole Red Table episode of them explaining what happened, or her explaining what happened in their relationship and how she even got with August Alsina in the first place? And Angie, what do you what would you say? Would you still say that separated means that you are still married, or would you say it means you're
Listen,
single?
first of all, let me just put this out there before I get into my hypothetically speaking. Honey, when I get married, there's no separation. You're going to have to just be mad with me, and I'm going to have to be mad with you. But we are not single until we are strictly divorced, and I kick your little name off the end of my name. You know what I mean? So,
kick your little name.
Because if I'm getting divorced, I'm going to be mad with you. So I had to say little name. But I'm not getting no divorce, honey. I don't believe in that. So if you get separated, you are not single. You know what I mean? Okay. Unless, and I'm getting to my hypothetical, getting out of myself and my beliefs right now. Unless you guys have a conversation and you guys basically say, you know what, we're going to be separated. Feel free to go out there and seek what makes you happy. Feel free to do that. But you both have to agree to that, not just snooping around, acting like you in 1999. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. Like, you have to communicate how you're going to move. So if you're going to be separated, and if that means single to both of you, y'all agree. You both agree. It doesn't matter what nobody else says. But if you both have agreed to that, okay, cool. But if you have not, that's not cool either. So for me, I ain't part of that life. But if you were to be separated, you're not single though. Like, you're not single. Like, you need to be focusing on what was the issue. I don't even believe in separation in dating. You want to take a break?
That's true. That's true.
Oh, you want to take a break to figure out your life? Bye. Because there's no, when you take a break with me, you're broken. You're done. You're done. So what you got to think about?
Bye.
Because baby, if you have to think because baby, if you have to think about why we're together and why we're not moving forward, that tells me right there we're not on the same page. And it tells me that you're hesitant. And if you're that hesitant, I don't want to go into a marriage or trying to get engaged with you and you're hesitant on just getting to know me and I'm getting to know you. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't have the whole break thing and having a timeout and having, hey, let's go on a break for 2 weeks. I don't do that. I don't care whatever X has said, whatever. I don't take breaks. If you take a break, we're done. So
okay. Rasheen B said, game over.
Yes, brother Rasheen, the game is done, over, complete, kaput. I don't play those games.
Mark Breeze 215 on IG says separated equals single. Okay, I'd like to know why you think that, Mark Breeze. I'd like to know.
What about you, Shay? Because you're married, what does separation mean to you in a marriage? If you had to separate from your husband, right? And this is a hypothetically thing, trying to put yourself in some shoes out here in these streets. How would you view it? Mark Breeze is crazy.
Okay, I would definitely say that it is definitely not
wise.
I don't even want to say it's not wise. It's a hell no for me. Point blank. I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. Really, it is what it is. I don't play that. If you're going to, if it's going to be a separation, now if it's a separation in a relationship, I feel like sometimes you need space when y'all are going through things, especially if it's gotten to a head where it's just constant. I'm okay with, we need space for a little bit to kind of get our thoughts together, not separation, not you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, and we'll come back and figure this thing out. No, because I don't know what you're doing all up in between that time, and you don't know what I'm doing all up in between that time, and I don't really play them kind of games. So for me, that's if we need a little space, that's different.
What's the difference
I don't see you every day.
What's the difference between space and separated?
Because separated, I feel like when people say they're separated, they kind of move independently of the other person. They don't care about really what the other person is doing. They don't even really include them in anything that they're doing. Like when you're married, you're including them in everything. I don't make dinner without knowing what my husband wants, what he wants to eat, where he's at. I don't make plans the next day for anything unless I know what our plans are, what his plans are.
Right.
So I take everything into consideration when I'm doing anything. If you're separated, you're not doing that. You're moving independently. So for me, just to have space is different. I don't want to talk to you every day, especially if we're in a dating situation. Now, if we're married, honey, you're just gonna have to see this mad face. You're gonna have to see it because I ain't going to. It just is what it is for me. I may not be happy with you for a minute. And I may not.
But we're gonna see each other
in bed with you when I'm pissed off. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
No, there ain't no separate.
It ain't no break.
Single.
It ain't no break. Like that's it for me. Like my thing is, I'm not in a marriage, so I can't speak on that. But I can speak from a relationship part. And my thing is, whatever you show me in relationship, like in dating, I feel like you're going to be like that in marriage. I'm not going to have no expectations of, he's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
He's 99% of this way now. He's not going to be 99% of this way when we get married. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So again, for me, ain't no separation. Either you want to be in it or you don't, because we're going to have bigger fish to fry moving forward. So if we cannot deal with this now or face the funk now and face your little mad face and you face my mad face while we're walking through the house or seeing each other every day or talking on the phone from a distance, like if you can't do that, then like what are you going to do later? And that's how I kind of view it.
During that separated time, you're bringing so many other factors into an already tension-filled situation.
Yeah.
Why? Now you're bringing in other individuals you might be dealing with. Now
Oh,
you're bringing it like, no, I'm
now
already
you got
got
to go
issues
get
with
tested
you,
for
and
coronavirus
now I
because you
gotta
don't
go
know
get
what
tested
she
for stuff,
had.
and no, now I gotta figure out if this one has been sleeping with you, or if you got her pregnant, and you're bringing a whole bunch of unnecessary things into my space that I don't need, and I don't even need to really be thinking about. So again, I really think that was like, I hope that was a learning lesson for that particular family, that you don't have to go do all these other things to kind of figure out. If y'all going through some stuff, go through it.
But
Sometimes going through it, you just gotta go through it to get out of it and figure out if that's what y'all want to do. But look how much other drama was thrown on top of it just because you decided to do your own thing while you still married. Come on, bro. Come on.
But then
Already too old for that.
at the same time, we all have our own separate beliefs, right? We believe in God. Some of us believe in Jesus. Some believe in Buddha. Some believe in this, and some believe in that. Some believe in the universe. Some believe in stars. Some believe in nothing, right? So my thing again, it goes back to, I'm gonna go ahead and end this topic. It goes back to, what do you guys believe in and agree with on how to live your life? Because we can say what we believe in all day, but if they said that that was their thing and they agreed to go date other people, that's their thing, and they got to deal with those consequences, because it does come with consequences, and it could be a STD that you cannot get rid of, or it could be a color that comes out of your body that would never go back to clear.
Or
You know
a
what I mean?
crazy psychotic murderer who done lost their doggone mind because you done left them, and now he's trying
Yeah.
to kill you and your
Or
spouse.
a
Come on,
baby
come on.
involved, an Ishmael. You know what I mean? So anyway, before I get too deep, child, so I'm talking about Ishmael.
Okay.
Next topic. I want to quickly get through this topic. This is one of the 3 Instagram, Mr. No Days Off. Shout out to Mr. No Days Off on Instagram. He said, what was the future of education? And our thoughts on the future of education real quick before we get into some craziness coming up next. But what is the future of education and how we see it right now when it comes to coronavirus, and what do we expect, right? And it's crazy that he sent that, because, and the reason why I chose that one was because I just asked K1's parents yesterday about if they were going to send him to school or not, or they're going to, have him go online, because Broward County is looking like they're going one way. They kind of look at, they just doing whatever they want to do. So I was like, hey, like, what are you going to do with Papa? Like, is he going to be going to school, even though it's his, he's about to be in 9th grade. He should experience high school. You know what I mean? But what's more important, high school experience or health? You know what I mean? So the future of education to me, it looks like it's about to be a phoenix online.
Yeah,
until this
basically.
thing is in the clear.
It looks like
Because
it's about to be national homeschooling. Like I don't know. I mean, if I had kids, I definitely at this very moment, I would not be sending them to nobody's school.
Right.
No, to nobody's school.
Right.
I need to see what measures y'all are taking in place. Again, if you're making it this serious for adults, and again, a lot of these parents would be taking their kids to school and then bringing them home to grandparents who are watching them and watching them while their parents are still working. That just don't work. That doesn't work for me. Like one of my best friends has made it very, very clear. Oh, both of her kids are not going to school.
Because you have
out.
I seen a tweet actually that said, oh, so and so has coronavirus. Her kids have coronavirus, but she has to take her child to daycare because she has to go to work. They're not testing these kids when they enter these buildings. So now the baby has went to daycare because the mom has to go to work and there's nobody there to watch the baby. So when you have parents who are forced to take their child into environments where knowing they have been tested and they have coronavirus or COVID-19, you put in a risk of everybody else's baby. And for me, that is just like because you don't know. And my thing is, if you can clear people out of prison and jails, right? They're saying COVID-19 is just so terrible. we got to get these people out of jail because it can affect people's health in jail. Well, if it can affect people's health in jail, it can affect kids' lives in school, in classrooms.
Yep.
What is the difference between trying to get people out of jail to avoid COVID-19 than kids going into school being amongst other kids who don't wash their hands correctly, who wipe their faces, who sneeze, who cough, who wipe down. It was already nasty before COVID. So imagine, seriously, you know what I mean? The kids were nasty before COVID. So I don't know. I was just happy to hear, and every parent is different. I got some other friends who have kids, and I asked them as well. But yesterday, just asking Kim and Henry, like, it was just, you know, I love me some Papa. I don't know if Papa's still on here. K1, if you're on here, you know I love you to death. So I don't want him out there in them streets like that. No, ma'am. And them little fast behind girls. No, ma'am. No.
Yeah, no. I definitely feel like they have to move the way of homeschooling or having these online programs where a teacher can still be a teacher and she's teaching class, but from the courtesy from the comfort of her own home. And I'm assuming that means that, you know, for kids who maybe don't have computers and stuff, they're going to have to try to figure that out in order to, you know, supply them with the necessary tools that they need to be able to take these classes online.
And hopefully,
I'm assuming their social skills will somewhat be affected by it.
It will
but
be.
Hopefully this won't be a very extended thing. Hopefully it will be maybe just a semester. But I just don't know, and I don't know where this is gonna go. I
don't know either. Especially if they're not testing, because you can sit here and take temperatures all day, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have a hot body, and I went into this place and they took my temperature, and I had over 100. I took the test. They immediate took my test, and my test came back negative. Only because I'm just warm blooded. Like, I my air conditioning is on 66 at night. You know what I mean? Like, I sweat in my sleep. Like, I'm just, like, right now I'm warm blooded. You know what I mean? But temperatures don't mean nothing. So if you're not testing these people, every child that enters their building, I don't know, but the future, like you said, going back to the question at hand, it's just gonna have to be like Phoenix online until things get safe. Like, I don't know. Like, it can't be better for people to be in a classroom of 30 or 25. I don't know. It's so new.
Yeah.
But the opportunities are there for teachers and tutors and
I mean, right now, like, you know, teachers can really, if they do decide that, you know, we're going to postpone school, whatever, teachers could really make money online if they're going to open up any online courses or whatever. Again, the parents have to be able to pay for them if that's what they're doing, but there's still opportunities and ways for them to make money even if they don't start school like normal. But I don't know. Praying for everybody.
Right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic tonight, guys. We're going to try to get through this thing. We have a few more things we have to get through. Next question, next topic is something that Shayla is ready to dive into. You hear me? So we all know a couple of weeks ago, 50 Cent and Lil Wayne was talking about dating black women or exotic women and all of this stuff. You all know how they go. And Kevin Hart ex-wife, right? Kevin Hart ex-wife came out and was just like, you know, everybody knows what has happened. And if you don't know, Shayla could probably break it down for you because
let me break it down, and I want to see what everybody else got to say about it. So, okay, so 50 Cent and Lil Wayne were having a discussion about, you know, why black women are so angry when they see black men dating women who are not black, and how do you know, we're so perturbed by this, and he doesn't understand why we're so upset, and you know, they're so foreign, they're exotic, why wouldn't I like it, they're different than what I see on the block every day. Okay, not like he on the block every day. That's one. Okay, so that's basically what the gist of what he's saying. As Lil Wayne is cracking up, now we already know Lil Wayne. The last couple of fiancés that he's had have all been not white or not black, I should say. All of them have
Yeah.
not been black.
His current girlfriend is white too.
And his current girlfriend is white as well. So, okay. So Tori Hart, which is Kevin Hart's ex wife,
yes,
basically made a statement that why is it that that anytime black men get something that they consider not us or different and exotic, that they have to come about it and treat us so disrespectfully. Because what he was saying and the way that he was laughing and really like making it seem like this is like super funny and all that, is like it was rude. It was rude as hell, honestly. It was rude as hell. It was disrespectful. And it's like, why? If like what you like, it's basically what she said. Like what you like, but why do you have to disrespect us when we hold you down the way that we do? So my question to you all guys is, what are exotic women? Maybe I'm confused, because the way it was, is it considered exotic because it's not his norm? So growing up, he was, obviously around a lot of, black people, if that's a neighborhood he was in. So now that he's seeing a different kinds of women or different women from different cultures, they're considered exotic. Because now again, I don't want to come off like I don't think that his current girlfriend is beautiful.
Yeah, she
We're not negating that. I am not a hater, honey. She is beautiful. She is. But why is it that it always seems like we are always talked about, we as black women are always talked about as though we are just some hateful, spiteful people and women, when we're the ones who are normally there when you have nothing. And then when you do have something, somehow we're no longer good enough. And we're angry and spiteful. And we ain't SHIT and all that other kind of mess. So I'm just curious, like, what is his? Would you agree with his definition of exotic women, of what that is? And do you agree with his stance that we care too much about that? So y'all let us know in the comments. Angie, what you think?
I'm okay. Let me just start with IG. So, Lump said, Lavish Looney said, my bad, Lavish Looney said, exotic is anything different than what you know.
What you know. Okay.
Creative Vibes Massage said, it's not about looks more, it's or less familiar. It's not about
familiarity.
Looks. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
so
about
basically
looks
exactly
more or
what
less.
Lavish says. Okay.
Yeah, it's about what they're exposed to. And I get it, right? I get that a different look versus what you grew up with, who was next door to you, depending on what area you grew up in, what city you grew up in, what set you grew up on, what avenue you grew up on. You know what I mean? So I get that part. I truly get it. I think I kind of have to side with Tori just a little bit. And I understand 50 Cent and I'm like, they can go love. My thing is love, right? Because I do agree. If I cannot marry a black man, I'm open to a white man. I'm open to a Spanish man. I'm open to a different type of man, even though I want and desire a black man regardless. But love is love. So if they want to go out and have different types of women, fine. But I have to agree with Tori a little bit, because when she said, why is that we have y'all back so much and y'all don't have our back? Like we yes, we're strong women, and yes, we may be extra passionate and a little bit frustrated with you guys on many different type of reasons and levels. But at the end of the day, we ride for y'all, and y'all know that. Like, we ride for y'all hard. Like, when y'all break our hearts, we go crazy because you have done something stupid to break our hearts, to disrespect us. So you get anger from that point. So every ex in your life that you have stumped on, of course she's going to be angry because you probably had did something, or the relationship did not work out, or she was spiteful because you guys didn't work out. Not because she's just born an angry black woman.
Yeah.
You had to have hurt her, and she had to have done something. Like, something had to have happened for that to be that. Because we're not just born or go into a relationship just angry, unless you just do something stupid and dumb. Like, just respect us like you respect the exotic. You know what I mean? Well, not even, because sometimes y'all disrespect other women as well. Y'all call them out their name. You treat them any type of way. You go do this and that. They be okay with it. You know what I mean? So it just all depends. Like no woman is safe
Okay.
if they don't recognize who they're with. So exotic to me, an exotic man to me. Let me just do that. How about an exotic man to me? An
Okay.
exotic man to me would be, of course, somebody of a different race. And I have to think about this. Even though I'm not a man, I can't say what an exotic woman is. But I feel like Shay look exotic right now. I told her earlier she looks exotic. I feel like black women are exotic to white men. Black women are very exotic to a Spanish man. Black women are exotic to any other man out there who is not black. And they look at us and they don't even know what to do half of the time with us. They don't even know how to approach us the right way because we are that exotic to them. So I kind of get it. Our men like the other look. However, just don't dog us. Like, don't act like we ain't your mamas and your sisters and your aunties either, as if we're not of you and from you.
Facts.
We look like you.
Facts.
We got the same hair like you. Like,
And I think that's my issue is the dogging of us, like we just ain't crap. Like your mama don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't come from a black woman. Like you didn't come from a black father.
or you
Like
won't make one. They
or,
don't
you,
have
or you're like
some
you're
of that
not gonna make
features.
one, because please believe when you have a child with this exotic, with this exotic woman, that's gonna be a black child. What you mean? Like I just don't understand. And I think that he, in a sense, he doesn't get it either, because he has to look at how it looks perception wise. Like I was telling Angie earlier, his initial, the mother of his first kid, he disrespects all the time. It's the, it has a, I can count numerous times where he has disrespected her publicly. Then he doesn't have a good relationship with the son for whatever reason that is. But somehow, with Daphne Joy and her child, never heard a bad thing about him. Ever. Is that a coincidence? I highly doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne, never heard him say anything bad about any of the Caucasian women he's ever been with. Ever. 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 Have you heard him say things about black women and wanting someone lighter and all that other kind of stuff? Yes, you have. So to me, it's whether you want to believe it or not, it's something deep rooted, and I just want us to acknowledge that and figure that
Why
out,
is that?
because
It goes back.
it goes back so much deeper.
It goes
like
back,
it's
right?
not us just being angry. Like I just don't appreciate the fact that again we go so hard for our men. Who are the people standing right beside our black men who are getting killed out here today? It's not the exotic ones. Let's just bring that up. It's not them. It's us. So just please stop disrespecting us. Love what you love, like what you like. I'm not mad at that. But I would never call a white man exotic. Whether he's different from me or not. Yeah. Period. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just learn to respect us. And I think and I think that if we learn to get that point and start, again, it starts with so many different things, like even the lyrics in our music and all that kind of stuff. Everything is always like, it's just always so negative towards us, and I just don't understand it. And I'm tired of it, and I'm done with that. And just like I'm done with racism, I'm done with that too.
Now the saying, black women are the most underappreciated, whatever how I go. I even hate to come out and just restate it, because I am her. Like, I am a black woman, so it's hard for me sometimes to even say it. But it is true. Look at Breonna Taylor. You know what I mean? Like, everything is moving for everybody else but for us. Sandra Bland, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's, not everybody's case, because some of our black men case are still not solved, but black women, man, and I just want our men to know that we are ride or dies for them. And sometimes, like them, we just got to go to a different race. But trust me, we prefer you guys. We prefer you.
We want y'all badly.
Bad.
We crave y'all. Just like these exotic women want y'all. We do too. Okay.
We do.
And I'm just saying we should get first dibs. I'm just saying. Just gonna put that out there. But anyway.
treat us right though. You can't just treat us like no dog in the street though, and expect us to, you know what I mean?
Amen.
And some of us have to have those standards to where you're not gonna be able to walk on me and not treat me like the queen, like I am. Like you want me to treat you like a king. You got to understand, like I'm supposed to be your queen too. I don't mind treating you like no king though, because you know you get treated like a king from me. You know you treating me like a queen. Then you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like don't treat us like a peasant. Because now you're feeding into the rest of the world how they view us. Like build us up, baby. Build us up, baby. You feel me? Anyway, before I get too Miami up in here, we're gonna go to the next topic for the night because that one is we have to come back to that one because that one is because we are Black women. So
I'm gonna read one statement.
Okay.
Creative Vibes Massage on Instagram says, looks attract and looks fade. But if you don't seek out the substance of a lady, you will lose the continuity of our culture. You feel?
Wow.
I just had to read that because I couldn't let that go without reading that. Like, thank you so much for that.
It done scrolled all the way up. Go ahead, Shay, because you're closer to it than me. Is it anything else? Trill Talk TV. Black wants us to pay bills and be faithful, asking too much. Really?
You know what?
So Black women want you to pay bills and be faithful and asking too much. That's what I'm saying. Some other races will allow you to do whatever you want to do. And Black women just ain't. How long do we have to keep up and put up with not being treated not as your equal, but as your equal? Because if you're a king, I'm your queen. Come on, man. Like
you better. Be
I don't want to be no concubine. I'm not here to be no concubine. I'm your wife. I'm your. Hello. I'm not a concubine. Now, if other people want to be that, let them do that, and it works for them, and they get to have all the luxuries, that are materialistic for temporary of a time. I mean, Floyd Mayweather shows that all the time that, you can get all this stuff and he will cut your behind loose so quick and go to the next girl. You know what I mean? So half of that stuff you could get for a moment of a time, but baby, I ain't no concubine, baby. I'm a queen and I'm your wife. I'm the mother of your kids who's going to be teaching your daughters what to do and what not to do. I ain't no concubine. So
I think that's the biggest thing.
Get your mind right. Get your life together.
You don't end up marrying these women. These end up being, let's not act like most of the time we don't do this out of order anyway. And we have kids first. Okay, so
girl, I'm getting hot.
These are the people who are raising your children. So is that what you want your daughter to think of herself? Is that she's not worthy of love and all that? I just, child.
Let's keep it moving because we got generations to change, not to repeat, right? Okay. But it starts with our men and knowing that we need you guys to treat us a certain way in front of our daughters so that your daughters can go out and seek those same type of men and respect and honor. Even the man in Proverbs 31, he honored his wife, honey. Like he was there. He hyped her up. He told the kids to hype her up. Like she had her thing. He had his thing. Girl, don't have me get deep in here. I'm put this water down because I'm getting all over the place. Because men always think I want a Proverbs 31 woman. Are you a Proverbs 31 man? Because what that man did in there. In next topic. For another day.
Okay, this was a topic from.
Oh yeah,
you have to read it. This was a topic
from my IG. So shout out to Freddie B TV. Freddie B TV is so crazy. I met him many years ago. And we got some crazy clips on YouTube. He is just a crazy man. But however, he came out and I wanted to choose his topic for tonight. His question was, what's most important? Ladies, what's most important from a man? Emotional, spiritual, mental support or financial support? And if we had to choose one.
If you were, if you've watched this at all, you already know which one I'm taking.
So for those who don't know, and maybe he hasn't watched or maybe he hasn't heard me in detail before, but maybe he just wants to repeat it again. what's most important when it comes to being with a man, Shayla? Because you're married. Is
I
it
mean,
emotional, spiritual, mental support, and stability, or is it financial support?
it's definitely gonna be the emotional and mental support.
Yeah.
Again, if not that finances ain't up there with water. Very important now. We're not gonna negate that. It's up there. It's very important. It's like oxygen. You need it to live. But at the same time, I think there are certain things that are just way more important, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you are driving me completely bananas, if you don't bring my life peace, that money don't mean nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. So that's just for me. There are women out here where they can just deal with that. They will deal with the being a punching bag and the disrespect and the constant
For the money.
emotional abuse. I ain't gonna do it for no dollar. Period. So I'm definitely gonna go the emotional support route. That's more important to me. But finances is definitely a close second.
Okay, I have to agree. I have to agree with you real quick, because when it comes to being spiritually connected with me, mentally connected with me, emotional connected with me, like I have to have that, because if we don't have that, what do we have? Because if it's all about money, I could go get another man who has money. There's many men with money. Many to choose from if I really want it. You know what I mean? Like if I really want to just go after money, I could just leave you and go to that next highest bidder. But when it comes to mental, spiritual, emotional support, every man ain't got that, and every man can't offer that to that particular woman. Because every woman is different as well. So some women need 30% mental, 30% spiritual, 30% emotional, and the other 10 is physical. I don't mean, you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, but every woman has her own percentage. So for me, if you ain't got me spiritually, you're a done deal. Because I can get jokey, I can have my little moments, I can get real hood sometimes, I can get real whatever sometimes. But at the end of the day, when we are in the house, when there's no cameras, there's no phones, there's no people, it's me and you. We don't have no spiritual foundation. You don't have me emotionally when I'm having a bad day, maybe at work, with my family, with my friends, with life. You're not making sure my mental is on point by whatever it may meet, whatever needs to be done to complement, um to get it up and higher and support me in that space. I have to do it myself. But if you're not there complimenting what I do for myself or trying to pull me out of it, child, what do we have? We have nothing.
Nothing.
We have nothing but air. And air is just all over the place, which means you all over the place, which means our relationship is all over the place, which means it could blow with a hurricane or a wind or a tornado.
Oh my God.
We have nothing. So to answer the question real
good.
quick, Freddie BTV, I pick that over financial. Now, again, like Shay said, you gotta have finances though. You gotta want to provide. You gotta be passionate to do so. There's no level or amount, but you have to want to.
And I'm sorry, guys. And my husband just realized he walked in.
So hurry up,
that is him standing there. You can go by, babe. It's okay.
Say hi to the people.
Hello, America. So dope.
But yeah. So anyway, moving on. Chill Talk TV, Miami DMs must be popping. My DMs not popping like that. Okay, they're not popping like that. I'm just leave it at that. For another day. Another day. DMs is not. Well, I don't know how they are. Next question. My last question from my IG was Bugsy Laveau. Now, Bugsy Laveau, he is a how can I say it? A media personality. He does like podcasts. Okay. He does like a lot of stuff. So he's kind of cool in what he does. In Florida, I think he's like West Coast Florida. So I support all my fellas who are out here trying to do something positive. So shout out to you, Bugsy Laveau. His question tonight was $200 dates begins when? So if you have not seen my IG stories tonight, I basically put an old clip of me and Shayla, and it was just a real small, brief conversation we had amongst a whole full conversation like tonight. We were talking about how to do a $30 date for our men in our lives. So his question just was, when do I spend $200 on a date? Is it in the beginning of the date, or is it when when you guys are official?
When you become official.
Yeah, official in a marriage or in a relationship. So, Shay, does it matter the amount of money if you begin dating somebody versus in a relationship? Does it always have to be $200? I guess $200 is just a basic number. It could be any number, but anything more than a basic $30, $20.
Okay. I would say this one
TV said $200.
This is I think this is kind of like a tricky question, because if I go with what my grandmother said, my grandmother always says, you start a relationship or you start anything off how you want it to end.
Amen.
If you are someone who expects certain things from a man, it's got to start off that way. If it doesn't start off that way, most likely it won't happen.
Amen, girl.
But at the same time, I also don't want to come off as someone or I wouldn't want to come off as someone who is strictly about the money. Oh, honey, we can't go on a date if you're not spending $200-$300, right? Whatever. That's
good.
Crazy. But at the same time, I don't think it matters when. I just think it depends on your interests. Mm-hmm. If this is someone I feel like you maybe even known for a little bit, and you just really you're really, really feeling them, and you know that there's certain things that they enjoy that happen to be a little costly, and you want to do some of those things, but you know it's a little pricey, but you're willing to because that's your interest in them, by all means, go ahead. But if you're someone who's like, look, I just kind of met you and I just want to take you out on a date, if it's $100, if it's a bomb date, and again, a bomb date includes what's the conversation, what are y'all doing, did you do any research on what she might like to do, where she might like to go, was the conversation great, did you come with flowers, all those kind of things. Those are all, I think the little things will make up for the lack of money that you may spend. You understand what I'm saying? It's all of those things, opening up the door for her and all that other kind of stuff. So I don't think you necessarily have to spend $200. Or I think, it's whatever you feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's all about
spending.
Yeah, it's all about how you want to start it. We got a minute left on IG real quick. So it's all about how you want to start it. So if you want to start with $200, okay, cool. Make sure it's a bomb $200. You can start with $30. You can start with just getting to know her over coffee. You can start to getting to know her over tea. You know what I mean? So
wait, I'm laughing at Trill Talk TV. My limit is $50, maybe up to $100 for a birthday. Years later.
But anyway, we're on 30 seconds left on IG. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. It can just go like Shayla said. You can do it how you want to do it. You can start out heavy and end light, and you got to know what how that woman goes. So if she requires a $500, $1,000, $20,000,
you better spend it.
Keep it up. You know what I mean? You gotta learn the woman you are trying to pursue.
Exactly.
And if you get into a relationship with her, continue to understand her and learn her and do that way. But IG, you are about to end. We're about to finish up on YouTube with Nick Cannon. So if you guys want to join us on YouTube, okay. So that's done. So anyway, the last topic for tonight.
The last topic.
I know. Let me see. Share IG. I hate how IG does this now. I'm sorry, podcast land.
All right, so the subtitle, for anyone who, obviously, for podcasters who cannot see the subtitle on the screen, it says, "Is melanin really magic?" Now, this has having to deal with Nick Cannon and his recent dismissal from Viacom. Is it ViacomCBS?
CBS. They own MTV.
They've owned MTV, and basically his show is
Wilding
trying to
out.
cancel him from his own show that he came up with and created. It's just, I just don't understand. Again, when you're not, it's not like he's speaking untruths. He's speaking truth. What is he being fired for? Because you didn't like it? Because you didn't like the truth? We've been lied on constantly, forever, for years, for forever, about who we are as people.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that many firings. He tells truth, and now he's fired. I just think that's, again, this is why it is so important, guys, for us to really embrace our own community and really make sure that we're doing all that we can to support each other, so that we can come up with and create things that will help us. Now, mind you, that show is an extremely popular show.
Yes.
Extremely. And basically almost the entire cast, I would say 90% of the cast, is normally
us.
Yours truly. Okay? It's us. So I'm just not understanding what they think that's supposed to accomplish. I truly don't get it. And I know he's gonna come out on top of this.
He will.
I'm not worried about what will happen to him. I know that he'll come out on top of this. I just think it's absolutely crazy, and I just truly want to understand, why was he fired? Because I don't get it. I just don't get it at all.
And I understand the point where he started going into how they're barbaric. And their lack of melanin makes them savages. That's basically what he said. And the reason why they are hateful and spiteful and are so barbaric in their way of taking over land. Like, he went all the way back, right? And some other stuff, whatever. But what I heard from it, despite some of the other things that he did say, overall, I felt like some days I feel like that as well. Like I've said it before on this podcast, that, it has been stated, and this is a fact, that I'm sorry, I'm drinking sparkling water and it is coming up, trying to burp out. Okay. So the original man that they have, the skulls and the bodies and all of that, and we kind of just know off the top of our head that the original person was African, was Black. You know what I mean? So to know that the first person, the original person created from God, was Black, and God had created his oh God, I should have never drunk all that. And God has created, Adam from his image, which means if the first person was Black and the first few people were Black, and God had created these people in his image, it means that we come directly straight from love. Because God is love. So I kind of got, when he started going into the simple fact that melanin means a little bit more of compassion. Now on Twitter, I stated that we may not have compassion collectively as a race with each other. We see this every day in the news because some of us just, killing our people and shooting our people.
But also what we were learned to be hateful and jealous of each other.
Yeah, of each other.
We were taught.
However, we were taught, and it has ran over. There's no excuse we can end it. But it is so deep rooted in a lot of our stuff. But anyway, he basically was just saying that the less melanin you have, the less compassion you have.
If you think of the logic,
because
it's not saying people who have less melanin have no compassion.
Exactly. He didn't say all people. No.
Yeah, he's not saying all people.
He didn't say all people. So is melanin really magic? Is Black girl magic real? Absolutely. Is Black boy magic real? Absolutely. When you put us against a lot of people in the world, not saying other races and other colors, and they cannot, do great. I'm just saying as a Black person, you want to hype up yourself, right? You want to make sure you stand, not even just hype up yourself, just to hype up yourself, but you have facts and you have people in history that have shown that melanin is kind of magic. You know, it is.
Not kind of, it is.
It is.
It is
You know,
magic. Period. Point blank.
and again, he went on to different levels of the conversation, but like I said, I took from that conversation that melanin is magic, and we do have compassion for other races. Even when it comes to this whole thing of us going through Black Lives Matter, like we're not even trying to get revenge as a race.
No, because
we're not
we
trying to get revenge. We just want equality. We want to be respected as a people. We want to be acknowledged that we are great and our melanin does matter. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even want to get back. Like, if we really want to be so ruthless, we could just go around and just kill everybody that's not us. But that's not us as a collective. We're not like that. Just like he didn't mean that for everybody else that was collective on the other side. He just meant that melanin is magic. We have compassion. There's something about us that is just so forgiving. Like I said, not within ourselves, unfortunately, but with other races. And it's true. I've seen it. We see it every day. We're very forgiving. We talked about this before about us being forgiving people when it comes to a lot of justice stuff and a lot of, we're going to forgive you. We're going to hug you in the courtrooms. We're going to say, you know what? We understand you made a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, we're just so compassionate, even back in the civil rights movements, even when we were being slaves, like, again, not collectively. Make sure I put that out there, because people like to research, not collectively. Not even because of that, just because it's a fact, not collectively, but a lot of Black people could have done so many bad things, but it's the melanin in us, which is the love in us, which is straight directly from God. If Black people are directly from God, we're love. And it's in us. And if we really wanted to be rootless, toothless, we could. But we ain't. Why aren't we like that? Why aren't we out here being ruthless collectively? Why?
Yeah. Because again, all the things that have been done to us in this, and for all the things that have been done to us, you would think that we would have retaliated in a major way by now. If we were
generation to generation
bad as we are always deemed to be. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it just doesn't make sense to me. Again, I feel like they've been after him for a long time, and this was just the easiest way, the very next route to get him out.
Girl, Dr. CB's documentary.
Yeah, and then that he said he was taking over that, and he was gonna make sure that it happened after he died. I just think it's so much deeper than just this. This wasn't the only thing that got him fired.
This was the icing on the cake for them, and they had to find something. Not to say he didn't come out of his mouth and said some things or whatever. They just caught it and used it quickly. You know what I mean? So, and I just don't understand how we can hype up ourselves and get fired for hyping up ourselves.
Again, it just like,
showing self-love in ourselves.
It's so easy nowadays for people to take what you say and take your words and act like they don't understand where you're coming from and twist them into a totally different message. Again, if this man really had true hatred for anyone who wasn't Black, he wouldn't be in the industry that he's in. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
He would not be in the industry that he's in. Because trust me, it's not us that he's dealing with at the top. He wouldn't have anybody who's not us on his shows. Period. So let's stop trying to villainize this man. Again, we easily got rid of him, but we can't seem to get rid of that orange little thing in the White House.
Yeah, so he can go around and say, so this is the craziest thing, because today we like to listen to our cousin Plies. So Plies said today, he was just like, like, it's crazy that when you try to I don't remember verbatim what he said, but he ended his thought with, how is it the president can say all of these things that are actually racist intended?
Yep.
And he's not looked at, you need to quit your job, you need to be fired, you need to be, you need to be get out of this White House. But you have somebody like Nick Cannon who basically is trying to up his own race and say who we are as a melanated people and why we're so compassionate in a lot of different ways. And even though it went a little left, but overall he still didn't be as racist up front as a Trump.
Blatantly racist, yeah.
As a person
so
who's
many,
over the whole...
we can completely forget about the president if you really want to go there. We can completely forget about him. We ain't going to, because to me, he's the most blatant racist. You understand? But I just don't understand how, again, well, I do understand, because it's history continuing to repeat itself. And which is even furthermore proving our point.
Yeah. And I just think it's like oh, y'all black people who on top, don't you dare say nothing about that. You see what we did to Nick Cannon?
Yep. Don't you dare. Keep your mouth shut.
And it's messed up. Like, I just hope I hope they fix that. I hope, it was an impulse. I hope they come back and say, we thought about it, like how every other company does. They do one thing, forgot to do something, they come back with the statement the next day. I just hope they release, his idea to himself, and hopefully he didn't sign away his rights to the show unknowingly. I doubt it.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah. But I know Diddy said he will welcome Nick Cannon with open arms on Revolt TV. I think that is amazing. I think he can't go on BET because BET was bought out by MTV, which means it's front. You know what I mean? So I don't think he can go to
it's the same,
BET. But Revolt TV is 100% black owned. I don't think it's a bad move unless he wants to do it on his own. But he has to make sure he has the salaries to pay the cast now, and it just sucks because once again it shows that our people who have these spaces, who are elite, I have to say elite in a way, just to say this point, they are being paid not by our people. They're being paid by those spaces of the opposite.
Yep.
Our LeBron James, he's being paid by who? Russell Wilson is being paid by who?
Not by us.
We go out and support them when it comes to sneakers and apparel, but at the end of the day, their checks are being cut by who?
Yep. That's why until we start again creating things of our own and circulating our own dollar in our own communities, we'll forever have this issue.
Yeah. And try to mute us.
It's almost like you have to sit back and take it, because
that don't even sound good. Sit back and take it. I'm gonna whip you.
I'm just saying, that's literally what it's saying. That's why it's so important, guys, and this is why it's so important to support your community, support what you want to continue to flourish, what you want to flourish. If we don't support us, who's going to? If we don't support our own stuff, who's going to?
But we still have to collectively work with each other. You know what I mean? Like, Nick will have to go to Revolt and say, you know what? Let's do it. And who knows what can happen from there? I don't know what can happen, but what if he does go to Revolt? And what if it does turn into a whole thing? Or what if Nick just does his own? Maybe he wants to branch out like Oprah did and have his own network. Because Nick can actually probably pull it off.
Yeah, he probably could pull it off.
He probably pull off his own network,
Yeah.
Or team up with Kevin Hart. Like, anything. Like, we have to team up too. And I think too, because our people are so diversely spaced out with checks, they probably can't team up too much because it would affect the other person's check of their connection. You understand what I mean? You get what I mean? Like, and that's the messed up part, because we can't really come together too much, because now checks are being, like, for example, I don't know what Kevin Hart has, and this is just a hypothetical statement. Let's just say he has an affiliation somewhere along the lines of CBS, and he would love to connect with Nick Cannon on something major and create their own network, but they can't because he's tied to CBS in some type of way, form, or fashion. And it may not be CBS, maybe a branch of it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can't work just because of the other collaborations they have. You know, it's just
but that's
it's
why
just so
we just have
deep.
to be bold enough. We have to be bold
We
enough
have to be bold
to say, you know what?
Enough is
It's
enough.
not all about the money. And we just literally talked about this in a different topic. It's not all about the money. And sometimes you have to sacrifice in order for the greater good. And if the greater good is for us to collect, to get all of our people together, to collaborate, to be able to put some stuff together, my God, you know, what's the worst thing that you could, what's the worst that could happen?
Yep. Like our ancestors did for us. It was a lot of sacrifice.
A lot.
And we have to
and
do
it just
the same
feels like
thing.
sometimes like we're not willing to do the same. But you know, I think since the Black Lives Matter movement has started and all that, I'm starting to see a shift, and I'm just hoping that shift continues, and it just continues along and continues to move, and it's just productive. That it's not just us out here protesting. It's us out here actually creating, like Mike says, plot, plan, strategize, mobilize. You know what I'm saying? And let's get some stuff done. But we can't do that if we're not going to band together and support each other. It's not going to happen. We're always going to have to depend on others. So again, this is not a bash everybody that's not Black. This is not that at all. It's us saying we need to start helping each other, supporting each other, and helping our pull our each other up. Because if we don't do it, who in the world is
nobody ain't gonna do it? We have to pull ourselves up. We have to talk about ourselves, right? Like I said, he had to talk about us being these phenomenal people of Black skin, of Black melanin in different type of hues. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You have to read those books on that. You have to feel like you're worth something. And if you can't sit in an United States of America, where people have fought for this country, for the amendment, to be able to have the opportunity to have freedom of speech about how they feel about themselves amongst somebody else. Not saying you're racist, it's just, hey, I feel like I'm doper than you. You can't even say that no more. You can't say I'm the king of R&B no more. You can't say none of that. You know what I mean? Like, It's just, I just do the king R&B thing out there so everybody can understand what I'm trying to say. Like,
okay,
you can't say my skin color is just better. When it comes to
simply say, I just love everything about what you don't like. I love
that's perfect.
Skin. I love me.
That's perfect.
I love you to everything
love me. About
I
you.
love me. We can't even say that with it being, oh, you so no. Again, you have a leg to stand on if he was creating policies and doing all this other kind of stuff that was so anti-white.
Yeah.
Then you have a leg to stand on. But he's not.
You know what it is? When we try to self-love ourselves, they take it as anti-white. And it's not anti-anything. It's I love me. Like our Black men say a lot of times, and I don't know how many of them have said this. When they go on social media and they say, you know what? This Black woman is just she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Our Black women are so amazing. It's like, oh, well, you don't like the white women? It's like, no, like right now, I want to say our Black women are just amazing. It's not anti anything. It's just like, okay,
it's just like Black Lives Matter.
There you go. Exactly. Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. It's not saying that all lives don't matter. It's just saying Black Lives Matter.
But they know that. They know that. Again, you know trying to change the narrative.
It says our Black women are beautiful as well. It says our skin color, which is full of melanin, is beautiful too. And that's it.
No matter the shade. No matter the
shade. If you don't have none, I don't know how to.
You're already assumed to be bomb. So there's no reason to address you. We're not talking about the people who don't have the issue. We're talking about the people. That's like saying, oh, okay, well, if someone says, something about 9/11, should I be like, oh, all buildings matter, not just that building matters? That's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an actual issue, an actual problem, something that actually happened to one thing, like it just happened to one race of people. It didn't happen to you, so we're not talking to you. I mean, that just makes us no. It's like you're gonna do whatever to flip the narrative, and no, you're not gonna flip the narrative over here, baby. Black lives matter. Period. Point blank. Everybody else lives matter too. Yeah, we already got that point. That's obvious. It's just it's crazy, and I'm so ready for the flip. I'm just so ready for it. I'm ready for us to really, for our just us as a Black community, just start flourishing.
Girl,
like
I'm just ready for Wakanda.
Before.
Okay, I'm ready for Wakanda. I'm gonna just say it like that and be done with it. I'm ready for Wakanda. We need Wakanda all over this world, and that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna drop the mic. We're gonna end this podcast for tonight.
Boom.
You feel me? That's all. That's all we want. We just want Wakanda. Is it so bad for us to want Wakanda? You done made the movie. You done spent the money to create it. You done showed us in a physical. We already knew this, but it was good to see it visually. Just like the Bible. Like we could read the Bible. We know everything about the Bible, but sometimes it's just so great to see a movie despite the color of Jesus. It's just still great to see the actual scriptures being put out and you get
put out. Yeah.
It was great to see Wakanda, baby. That's all I'm going to say. So that's all we want. And is that too much to ask for? It ain't. So on that note, we're going to say goodnight to the world. We want to thank everybody on YouTube who is in and out. We thank you guys for joining us tonight. We want to thank IG for all the feedback as usual. And we want to thank our podcast for just listening to this all the way through to at this point. As always, like you always do, we appreciate you guys so much. Do not forget to comment below. 5-star the podcast. Do not give us no 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it got to be a 5-star. 5-star chicks over here. You know what I mean? So 5-star the podcast. Comment on the podcast page actually, and let the world know why they should listen to us and why you guys love to listen to us. And find us everywhere: IG, YouTube, Facebook, whoever, and everywhere. And that's all I got to say. Anything you want to add, Shay?
I just want to say thank y'all for joining us. I know we went a little over time, but I just want to say thank y'all again for coming in. Even if you was here for a second, we appreciate the second. Okay. We thank everyone who joins. We notice everyone who comes almost every week. Trust me, we do. Don't think that we don't.
Yeah.
Thank you for the feedback, for the comments, for the interaction. We love and appreciate it all. And again, until next week, honey. Next Wednesday at the same time, same channel, same bat time. Okay, Angie gonna take us off, and that's it.
Y'all know how this go every time. Y'all just be blessed. Good night, good morning, and good afternoon to everybody listening to us right now on the podcast. And we out.
Peace.
Oh, I forgot I have to end this, YouTube.